welcome Brooke Lakatos.
Hey everybody. I wanted to start out with a little bit of my testimony first. This song is called I Will Not Be Silent. And for whenever I was younger, I was a real talker. I was very talkative. My mom's here today. And she can tell you, I talked a lot as a child. But I also, and I was from an incredible family. But I, as a child, was sexually abused for a while. And that really didn't affect me for a while. My parents did all the right things. They took me to psychologists and everything. And what the psychologist ended up telling them was that not to bring it up because I wouldn't remember I was too young. And so they didn't. They were just listening to what the experts told them. And so for about 10 years, this was silent, but I knew everything. I remembered everything. And so what that caused in me was just a big inner conflict and a lot of fear to rise up because I had so much going on inside, but on the outside I was a good little girl, Christian girl. My family always praised me, but inside I knew what was, I felt disgusting on the inside. And so it really silenced my voice. And I finally had an encounter in it, and I got into a lot of different sin issues and stuff. And I had this encounter with God, and I got saved, and all the sin issues broke off, but I still never dealt with the fear. It took a while for that to happen, and I had this encounter one day with the Lord, and He showed me how He saw me, how He thought about me. And whenever He did that, I had become really hard before. I didn't show much emotion because I'd suppressed so much. And when He did that, everything in me just broke. And it allowed years of suppression just to come forward. And from there, I began on this journey with the Lord and worshiping Him, more than doing things for Him, but worshiping Him. How much freedom that brings to us and how we're able to walk out our purpose once we find that freedom in worshiping Him. And so dance has really been, for a while, was my only voice of how I could express what was going on in the inside. I remember being in my bathroom in one place we were living years ago, and that was the only place I could really find time by myself, and I would dance in this tiny bathroom and just weep and look on the floor weeping because it was the only way I could express what was going on inside. And the Lord would encounter me there, and I would just be in awe of Him and beholding His beauty and how incredible He was and what He thought about me. I want to share this verse in Isaiah. Isaiah is writing to Jerusalem, to Zion, and he's talking about the goodness of God, and then he goes on to talk about the greatness of God. But in the midst of that, sorry, I'm realizing I wasn't holding the microphone up very high, so you probably couldn't hear me very well. But anyway, in the midst of that, he says, Zion, herald of good news, go up on a high mountain, Jerusalem, herald of good news, raise your voice loudly, raise it, do not be afraid, say to the cities of Judah, here is your God. And so what I've realized in the past few years is not only do we have to find our voice so that and find that freedom to worship God, but we have a responsibility to use our voice to declare to other people, behold our God, how great He is. And so each of us in here has a voice, and there's something different we all have to say, and we all express it in a different way. And but ultimately what we all have to say inside of us is, behold our God, how good He is. And when we worship, that is where we find the breakthrough. When I worshiped the Lord was whenever all the fear was gone. The fear broke off, the fear of man, the fear of the calling that God had for me, the fear of the unknown, the fear of what was really going to come out or what God really thought about me. All of that broke off when I began to worship Him. And so the song is called I Will Not Be Silent. And then it says, I will not be silent, I was born to worship. Later on in the song, it talks about releasing the keys. And the keys, for me, in Revelation, talks about the key of David. And David was a true worshiper of God. He knew the heart of God. And so, and because of that, he had the keys to the kingdom. He understood the keys to the kingdom. And we have the keys to the kingdom as well. And we are able to understand that whenever we truly worship God, we receive those keys so that we can unlock in other people the ability to see and behold God as well. And so I just want y'all to be ministered to by this dance and see, and a part of it, you'll see Josh and John, they're turning that key, the heart of people, so that they can worship the Lord. But if y'all would welcome, well, never mind, they're going to be welcomed out in a minute by the song, but I'm going to start it off.